let's talk about deer. No, not that one. No, no, yes, that one. Yep, believe it or not, moose are a part of the deer family, right beside caribou or elk, or really all kinds of deer. In fact, they're the largest living and only rivaled by a couple for all time. One being the Megaloceros, otherwise known as the Irish elk, the other called Cervalis latifrons? I don't know, I butchered that one for sure. It's also called the broad-footed moose. And the broad-footed moose is the largest deer of all time. They are currently extinct though. There are 8 recognized subspecies of moose. Moose will grow to about 4.6 to 6.9 feet at their shoulder on average. Males usually are larger, weighing a whopping 840 to 1,500 pounds, but don't count the females out either because they still grow to about 440 to 1,100 pounds. The largest ever moose recorded was a massive 1,808 pounds and stood 7.6 feet at the shoulder. They are the tallest land animal in all of North America, and these giants can live up to 25 years. Moose easily make it to my top 5 most favorite animals of all time. Picture this. You're 12, 13 years old, you're on a 4-wheeler drive with your dad, and you're going up and down hills, around corners, waving around, and you go up a hill, and as you come down, you see them. 2 giants. 1 bull and 1 cow moose, just staring at you. Your dad turns the 4-wheeler off and you're just sitting there in silence, just looking at the biggest animal you've probably ever seen in your life. Eventually, after about 5 minutes or so, they move on and you turn back on the 4-wheeler and you get driving and you're just thinking, man, I don't even know how an animal could make my father, of all people, look small. But they did that. And I'm sure you can imagine my surprise when I found out that those weren't even the biggest moose that are alive. The Alaskan bull moose are much larger than the moose I saw. Depending on where you live, the moose may also be called a European elk. So if you hear a European talking about an elk, they're usually talking about what is called a moose in North America, since the word moose is derived from a Native American Algonquin word, which means eater of twigs. European elk are usually smaller than the American variety, and moose can be found in Europe, Asia, and North America. They typically like to live in swampy or boggy habitats, but they also will live in the woodlands. And they like it cold. Being comfortable in about negative 45 degrees weather, which could not be me at all. I am not a cold weather person. And they don't really like anything above 80 degrees Fahrenheit. On hot days, they can often be found cooling off in the water, which is a perfect segue into the remarkable adaptations that these beasts have, because they're excellent swimmers. They can swim at speeds reaching 6 miles per hour, and they can dive 20 feet below the surface, which for their size is impressive. Moose hair is also hollow, which helps them float. It also keeps them warm, which is another reason why they like the cold. They can also run at 35 miles per hour on land for short distances and have deadly kicks. They possess the ability to kick in all directions. And so I think it goes without saying, but you don't want to get in a fist fight with a moose. Hoof fight, maybe? Yeah, regardless, they're best left alone. They have 4-chambered stomachs, like cows do, and they'll need to eat about 10,000 calories a day. Wild. Moose will fight other bulls for access to females for breeding, and they'll mate with multiple females if given the opportunity. However, The taiga moose will usually stick to one female for an entire breeding season. Females will usually give birth to 1 to 2 calves, but young mothers will usually only have 1. Triplets are possible, but pretty rare. Babies are usually born at about 30 pounds. Quick, who would win in a race, a 5-day-old moose calf or a full-grown human being? Well, I hope you put your money on the calf, because if not, you're gonna be a pretty sad gambler. Babies will develop fast. Being born in spring, they will gain about 2 pounds a day, later gaining 5 pounds a day. They will live with their mothers for a little over a year, but moose are more solitary animals, unlike most deer, which live in herds. And the mothers will usually push their grown offspring out before the next calf is born. I just want to share a few more fun facts before I end this video. So, antlers are the fastest growing tissue any animal grows. And moose will grow an 80-pound rack in a single summer. The moose will grow about 1 pound of bone a day, just to shed it all off at the end of the year. Moose are mostly found in the north, but the cirrus moose has the southernmost range, and the cirrus are actually the smallest moose. But that doesn't mean much because they still stand at about 6 feet at the shoulder. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and maybe learned something about one of my favorite animals. I hope you subscribe and let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about in the comments. As always, stay curious. Oh, also, that little flap under their chin, it's called a bell.